Okay, okay, right. Okay. Swati, I guess you have joined the sessions previously as well, the same demo sessions. Again, since the majority of the people are attending the session for the first time today, I'll be taking up a demo today as well. Okay. And tomorrow we'll start the networking class if that's okay. Okay.
Sure, sir. No problem.
Okay. Because not many people have enrolled at the moment. The time gap was too less for the enrollment. So I'm not sure. But again, since you have joined, I'll be taking up a networking class tomorrow. And Monday onwards, we'll just check. I'll just check with the institute for the enrollments. And yeah, I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay.
But today I'll take up a demo. Tomorrow we'll take the networking class, the first class.
Okay, sir. No problem.
Right? Sure. So, okay, guys. So before we get started, a quick formal introduction on my end. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from EC Council. Okay. EC Council is the leading organization for cybersecurity certifications, okay, and trainings. Okay. And from them, the first foundational course for people who are completely new to this domain is certified ethical hacking. Okay. In short, it's also called as CEH. Okay. And the version running right now, the latest version is version 11. Okay. So before we get further ahead in the demo, I want to clear a common misconception between hacking and ethical hacking. Most of the students assume that it is one and the same term. Okay. So because again, to clear out, hacking is something which is completely illegal. Okay, and ethical hacking is something which is completely legal. Just by calling it ethical, people don't understand the difference though. Okay. So let's try to understand. Let's try to elaborate on these two terms first. Okay. So when we talk about hacking, this is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, you might have heard about this, or you might have seen these in a lot of movies and stuff. Okay, trying to get access to other systems, other servers, other web applications or databases. Okay, and this gaining access is done without the permission or without the consent of the person owning those systems. So if there's a certain organization, like let's say Wipro.com, okay, you try to get access to their devices, the Wipro servers, without letting the organization know about it. Okay, and this is usually performed by hackers for their own benefit. So once they get access to the servers, they can steal the data, destroy the data, or even sell the data to other third-party vendors. Okay, now if hacking seems such a malicious task, why do we have a course called ethical hacking is the second question. Okay, how is ethical, how is hacking becoming ethical, or how is it becoming legal? Okay, so when we define ethical hacking, this is the procedure of trying to find vulnerabilities. Okay, vulnerabilities are nothing but loopholes or weaknesses in the information systems. Using these weaknesses only, by taking advantage of them, hackers try to get access to the target devices. So your job as an ethical hacker would be to find these vulnerabilities, would be to find these loopholes on the target system and report it back to the organization. So the finding of vulnerabilities on these systems is done with the permission and with the consent of the organization, and they work according to their policies. So everything is done in a monitored environment. Okay, so you have complete transparency between you and the organization. You try to find the weaknesses and you don't hide them either. Once you find a weakness, you don't take advantage of it. You report it back to the organization. Once it is reported, the organization will apply the appropriate patch required for it. Okay, and once a patch is applied, the vulnerability gets closed. There is no more chance for a hacker to cause any further harm. Okay. So thereby, by finding these vulnerabilities and by disclosing these vulnerabilities, you're trying to increase the security of the infrastructure rather than causing any harm. Okay. And thereby, with ethical hacking, you're doing a good job. Whatever you're performing is completely legal. It is completely in the boundaries of the organization and their policies. Okay. And you're not crossing a line anywhere. Right. So I hope this makes it clear, guys, what is hacking and what is ethical hacking and how they are different from one another. Again, important point, if you have any questions or any doubts of any sort, please do let me know. Please, you can interrupt me at any certain point and raise your hand or ask me your questions directly. Okay, do not hesitate to ask your questions at any time. Okay, now depending on these two definitions, guys, I'll quickly categorize the different types of hackers as well. There's someone known as a black hat hacker, there's someone known as a gray hat hacker, and then there's someone known as a white hat hacker. These are the main three categorizations that you'll keep on hearing from time to time in the cybersecurity domain. Black hat hackers are the ones who are also called as cyber criminals. They're people who perform hacking for their own benefit, okay, or sometimes just for fun, okay. And all this is done without asking for permission from the organization. Finally, on the other end of the spectrum, we have someone known as a white hat hacker. White hat hackers are also called as ethical hackers. Okay. Sometimes they're also referred to as penetration testers. Okay. These are the people who find vulnerabilities in systems in the organization and report it back to the organization. And all this is done by abiding by the laws and policies of the organization. So you do not cross a line, you do not hide anything. There's complete transparency. Okay. And you try to find weaknesses in the systems and report it back so that you can increase the security. Okay. Now, in between, there's also a third category called as gray hat hackers. These are the third type of category of hackers, but also sometimes called as bug bounty hunters. Okay, so just as the name suggests, gray hat, they have both the qualities of black hat hackers as well as white hat hackers. So like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission before performing hacking or ethical hacking. But once they find a vulnerability with the system, like a white hat hacker, they report it back. But there is a minor catch with them. Okay, they don't report the vulnerabilities for free. They want something in return to report that vulnerability. Okay, so to give the proof that they found a vulnerability, okay, they send a basic example of the script or the technique that they have used. Okay, and to disclose the complete information, they say, please pay us this much amount. Okay, or give me recognition. Okay, give me place my name in your wall of fame or reputation so that you can benefit. So it's a give and take relationship. Okay, you're asking for a bounty in return to report the bug, and that is why they're also called as bug bounty hunters. Okay, so like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission, but like a white hat hacker, they report back the vulnerabilities. Okay, they have both the qualities. Okay, but there needs to be some advantage for that. They need to gain something from that, so they request for a bounty. Okay, it could be a financial reward or a reputational reward. Now, all these three types of hackers, whether you take black hat hackers or gray hat hackers or white hat hackers, all of them perform hacking or ethical hacking in a systematic fashion. They follow certain steps of procedures, and by using those steps of procedures, they exactly gain access to the devices. Okay. And when those steps are followed in the same systematic order, the probability of gaining access increases tremendously. Now let's talk about these steps first. These steps collectively are called as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. Okay. So you're going to be hearing this term a lot when you work for organizations in the cybersecurity domain, hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. Various organizations categorize these steps into various numbers, but if I had to summarize it up, there are 5 important steps. Okay. First step is called as information gathering. In some organizations, it is also called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is called as scanning. It can also be called as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is reporting or clearing traces. Now, our whole course of CEH is going to revolve around the same 5 steps. We're going to practically understand how to perform each of these steps one by one in the same order. Okay. And when you follow the exact same order, the chances of you getting access to the target device increase tremendously. Okay. So again, the reason why I've mentioned OR over here in the last step, if you observe carefully, is because that is where it makes all the difference between a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker. So if you notice, I've not mentioned OR anywhere else. Okay. So all the procedures that any kind of a hacker follow are similar for the first 4 steps. What varies is only the last step. So if you're a white hat hacker, you report all the vulnerabilities that you're finding. If you're a black hat hacker, you're definitely not going to report. You try to remove the evidences, and that is known as clearing traces. Okay. Now let's briefly discuss about each of these steps, guys, one by one, so you have a clear understanding of what the whole course is about. Okay. So the first step, again, before that, any questions or doubts, guys, up to this part? Grishma, Richa, Swati, Vikas, Amrita. Any queries, guys? Any questions up to this part? Or have you not understood something? Do you want me to explain something again? Oh, Vikas has already joined the demo earlier. Yeah, Vikas, I'll take the first class tomorrow, Vikas, again, as I've mentioned. Okay, since the majority of the people here are attending it for the first time, hence I wanted to take it up again. Richa, your mic's unmuted, you're saying something.
Sir, Amrita from this side.
Sorry, can you please repeat, Richa?
Yeah, Sir Amrita. This is Amrita.
Oh, Amrita, yeah.
Yeah. So, in this cycle and kill chain, you are saying that information gathering comes first before the scanning. So, are you saying it from a hacker perspective, or you're saying it from a person who is stopping the hacking?
No, in either of the perspectives, it's the same procedure that you follow. Okay, first you perform information gathering, and then whatever information you have gathered on those devices, you perform scanning them. Okay, so it works in both the both hacker as well as ethical hackers perspective. Okay, the only difference that in both their perspectives is the last step, what you do with the information that you have found. Okay, what you do with the devices or the vulnerabilities that you have found. Okay, that is what changes for each guy. Is that clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, right. Okay, guys. So proceeding further, let's discuss about each of these steps one by one now. Yeah. So the first step, information gathering. So as I've mentioned, this is the first step in the hacking cycle. To elaborate on this, as the name itself says, information gathering is nothing but trying to gather as much data as possible about the target. And this data is gathered passively, guys. A key point to be noted is again the word passive. What I mean by passive is that whatever information you're gathering, it is gathered from other third-party sources. You're gathering it from other different sources rather than contacting the organization. So the organization has no clue that someone is trying to gather information about them. Okay. Now the main question is, what kind of information are we talking about over here? Okay. And the information is as follows. So you try to gather information such as the IP address information, the range of IP addresses used by the target organization. Okay, if they have servers, online servers, what IPs are those servers getting? Then the who is information, who is hosting the website, when was it first hosted, when was it last updated, when will it expire, then the DNS records, understanding what information is stored in their DNS servers, then employee details like the contact numbers, the email addresses, the usernames and passwords which got leaked on the internet earlier, all that information. Then the domain names of the organization, the subdomains of the organization, and the operating system information. What operating systems are they using for their multiple servers? Now, trust me, believe it or not, this information is readily available on the internet to be gathered. If I show you a very basic example, I can just go to the browser, and in the browser, I can search for a website called DNS Dumpster. Again, I've shown this a lot of times earlier in the demo sessions, but again, a very popular website actually. Now over here, if I go to the website DNS Dumpster, you can see it says and finds and looks up for DNS records for any organization. So all you have to do is enter the domain name over here. So if I give a domain name, let's say infosys.com, and if I click on search, now this starts giving me the DNS server information for the Infosys organization. So first it tells me the geolocation of the servers, where Infosys servers are located. Now it also tells me what are the DNS servers for Infosys. So there are two DNS servers. One is a primary and one is a secondary DNS server. And these are the exact public IPs for each of those servers. Okay. These IP addresses are very important from a hacker's perspective. He needs to know what devices are being used. Again, for those devices, what exact IPs are there? Because on those IPs only, he performs scanning again. Okay. Then after that, he gets some MX records. So this tells you what mail server are they using and what is the exact IP for that mail server. Scroll down much further, shows all the host records. Okay, so the main domain and all the subdomains of Infosys and their exact IP addresses for those servers. Okay, scroll down even further, it shows the complete network topology of the Infosys organization. So what servers are connected to which other ones, okay, and how they are connected in the intranet or the public network as well. Okay, so all this information is, as you can see, publicly available. So DNS Dumpster does a great job of fetching all this information from other various sources and putting it in one single location. Okay, so again, a lot of students even ask me this: sir, is this information actually legal to be obtained? Yeah, definitely legal, because Infosys themselves need to share this information on the internet for other clients to access their public service. Although they never share it in one single location, DNS dumpster does the job for us of gathering all this information from different sources and putting it in one single location. Okay, so this is a gold mine for all the DNS records for any certain organization on the internet. Yeah, guys, was anyone asking a question? I can hear someone unmuting their mic. Okay, anyways, now proceeding further. Now, after information gathering is done, guys, after we get this information, so again, DNS dumpster is one of the websites. There's tons and tons of other websites. Oh, there's some background echoing, guys. Grishma, I guess there's some echoing from your end. Can you please mute your mic? Okay, anyways, as I've mentioned, guys, there's tons and tons of other websites that we'll be discussing as we progress with the course. As a demo example, I wanted to show the DNS dumpster website. After information gathering now, then we go to the next phase, which is scanning. Now, scanning is a phase where we try to gather some extra information by making active connections. So then information gathering, we got it passively from other third-party sources. In scanning, we get it actively. Active in the sense we directly contact the server, and from that server, we fetch extra information. Now, what is that information? It can be categorized into three types. So you perform network scanning, and then port scanning, and vulnerability scanning. With network scanning, you try to figure out on the target organization network on the intranet what all devices are located or what all services are they using. So again, in an organization, there can be multiple servers. There can be a DNS server, they can be a DHCP server, they can be a SMTP server, they can be a FTP server, they can be a SMTP server, okay, mail transfer protocol server. Okay, so there's tons and tons of services that are used in any organization. And there's other devices also, routers, switches, firewalls, IDS, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems. Okay, so we need to understand what all devices are actually connected in an organization, and that is performed with network scanning. So once you know what devices are connected, on those devices, you need to figure out what services are running or what protocols are running. And once you know the services and protocols running, then you perform vulnerability scanning to figure out if any of these services has actual vulnerabilities. Okay, so using these vulnerabilities, you can attack on those services and try to get remote connection to the servers. And once you get connection to a singular server, from there, bypassing the attacks or by progressing the attacks does not take much longer. Okay, so again, it's a step-by-step procedure. We try to find the devices in the network. On those devices, we try to find the services that are running, and on the services, we try to find the vulnerabilities. And all of this happens with the help of scanning tools. Okay, so to list out a very important tool in our class, we'll be using a tool called Nmap and also another tool called Nessus. So Nessus is a vulnerability scanning tool, guys. If I show you the official website, this is where from you can download the tool, and it's actually quite an expensive tool. As you can see, it's around $4,000 for 1 year subscription. Again, the organization purchases this tool for you. You don't have to purchase anything. Okay, but we need to at least know how to run this tool once it is available in your domain. Okay, so I have the same tool installed on my system. Let me show you. So in our classes, I'm gonna be showing the same tool practically. 1 second, guys. Control C, HTTPS. Right. So this is my login portal. And this is how basically the tool looks like once it's installed. So as you can see, there's multiple scan templates: network scan, port scanning, or vulnerability scanning, malware scanning, and so on. So once you perform a scan on your organization, it shows you which device has what kind of vulnerabilities. And the vulnerabilities are divided depending on the impact. Okay, what impact they can create. So in an organization, you should never have critical vulnerabilities. If it does, there's chances that hackers can try to get access to your systems remotely. Okay, So we need to understand how to perform the scan and how to check for vulnerabilities in our organization and how to mitigate these vulnerabilities. Okay, so when you click on any vulnerability, it also shows you what is the actual vulnerability, what is the solution for it, okay, and what kind of data are you getting from that vulnerability. So this is quite, again, technical, guys. We'll learn more about this as we progress with our classes, okay, but this is basically a real-time tool that is used in organizations at the moment to perform scanning and basically and precisely vulnerability scanning. Okay, so we learn what that is in much more detail, but just to show you, okay, this is the same tool that is used in organizations. After that, once scanning is done, then we go to the next phase, which is gaining access. Now, this is quite a huge concept. It covers a vast variety of topics, and these are the topics as follows. Oh, so sorry, it was delayed a bit. Yeah, so as you can see over here, first thing is system hacking. So we learn in system hacking how to crack or bypass any Windows operating system password. So if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 or Windows 10, 11, doesn't matter. How do you crack the operating system password? Or how do you bypass it if you're unable to crack it, is what we learn in system hacking. Then comes malware attacks. Again, malwares are nothing but malicious softwares. So we'll practically learn what malwares are, how to create these malwares, how to prevent these malwares from attacking our system, and also how to check if our system is already attacked by a malware, how to detect them. Then comes network penetration testing. In network penetration testing, we learn all the common network attacks, such as sniffing attack, man in the middle attack, or denial of service attack, DOS attacks. Okay, so using these attacks, you can disable services from running, or you can try to capture other usernames and passwords in the network. Okay, you can capture packets, you can analyze packets, and try to get others' data. And also how to hack Wi-Fi routers, hacking wireless networks, checking for wireless vulnerabilities, and also cracking Wi-Fi passwords. Then comes social engineering, where we learn the most common attack on the internet, which is known as phishing attacks. So how do hackers create fake login pages? How do they get the usernames and passwords of other users, whether it be social media pages or e-commerce website pages or bank login pages? How do hackers clone websites? Okay, all that we learn under social engineering. Then comes, excuse me, then comes web application penetration testing. In this, we learn how hackers try to find weaknesses in websites and try to attack websites. Okay, so there's a few vulnerabilities to list out, such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, file upload vulnerability. These are the weaknesses through which hackers try to get access to the backend servers. So we'll practically learn how to perform each of these attacks and how to get remote connection to the servers. Then comes hacking mobile phones, where we learn how hackers try to get access to remote Android phones. So what malwares can you use and what malwares are used to get access to remote Android phones? All that comes under hacking mobile phones. Okay, and after this is done, there are two small topics, which is maintaining access and reporting or clearing traces. So in maintaining access, we learn how we can maintain persistent connections. Okay, so if you're attacking a target system, and if that system restarts or shuts down and starts after a very long time, how do you still maintain a connection with that device? Okay, and how do you still be able to download the data from that device? Is what we learn in maintaining access. Then finally, we learn how to generate a report and submit to the organization, or how to remove the evidences as well. So we're going to be learning both the perspectives, hackers perspective as well as ethical hackers perspective, to prevent our own system, from getting hacked. Now, before we dive into all these advanced concepts, since not everyone might be from a technical background, we have a few prerequisites to cover as well. So let me show you that. Yes, over here. So as you can see, this is the whole course content, guys. You might get this from the institute website. Okay, but to just list out a few introductory concepts, these four classes are what we'll take first. So we'll basically learn what virtualization is. Okay, so we need to install a tool or an operating system called Kali Linux, guys. It's a Linux based OS. Okay, and we need to install that in our own system for the lab setup. Okay, so I'll show you basically how you can install your lab, how you can set up a complete working 24/7 working lab environment, so that you can practice all the tools that I show you in the class. Then we learn basic networking concepts such as IP addresses, IPv4, IPv6, DNS protocol, DHCP protocol, subnet mask, subnetting. We learn all these concepts in the networking basics. Okay, Then we learn basic Linux and Windows commands. Okay, so to understand how to operate the Kali Linux OS. Okay, so if you want to download Kali Linux, guys, this is the official website from where you can download it. As you can see, I'll be showing you how to download this, how to install this in your local system. As you can see, this comes pre-installed with all the penetration testing tools. And I'll show you how to install this in a tool called VMware. So I'll be sharing all these tools with you guys. Again, all the tools and everything are included in the course price itself, guys. You don't need to pay anything extra for the tools. Okay. So yeah, again, the whole course is for a duration of 35 days. We'll have classes from Monday to Friday every day for 1 hour. All the classes will be recorded. You'll be getting the recordings as well. And if all the recordings, the live sessions, the tools, the notepads, notebooks, or again, the course material as well from official EC Council will also be shared. And all this is inclusive in the price of 8,000 rupees. Okay. So again, I teach for a couple other institutes as well, guys, in Bangalore, and I am the same tutor, and they're charging around 25,000 for the same course content. Okay. So trust me, it's a very reasonable price. It's a very comprehensive course. Every class is completely practical based. It's a 20-40 ratio. First 15-20 minutes we'll discuss the theoretical part. Remaining 35 to 40 minutes we'll discuss the practical part of it. Okay, no theoretical nonsense, completely practical implemented course with all the real-time tools. Okay, burp suit, nessus, nmap, again to list out the few, Wireshark, okay, Wireshark, Kane enabled, John the Ripper. All these tools are actually the tools that are used in real-time scenarios in organizations. Okay, and we'll be working on the same thing. So it's a very comprehensive course. You're going to be covering all the endpoints, network security, system security, wireless security, okay, web security. All the fields are included. Okay, as from basic to intermediate level. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. Any questions or doubts on your end? Okay, hello. Amrita, Richa, Sobit Nandi, Amrit Kumar. Okay, guys. So yeah, assuming there's no questions or no doubts, again, just trying to brush through quickly or through the demo session. Because from tomorrow I'll be starting the course actually, guys. I'll take the first networking class concepts in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that is also going to be acting like a separate demo if anyone else newly joins tomorrow. Okay, so don't miss out tomorrow's session. We'll take up the class tomorrow for sure without fail on networking concepts. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing further. I'll exit the session and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.